appreciate you taking time out of your day to join me and learn more about what PIHRA can offer. If you've just joined, welcome. So glad that you're here. My name is Liliana Arguello, and I am the Director of Membership at PIHRA, and I host these every month. So feel free to connect with me. I'm going to put my LinkedIn URL in the chat. That's what PIHRA is all about. So start connecting now. Each of you can put in your LinkedIn in the chat as well. Little housekeeping before we begin. Let's see. We're spending the next 60 minutes together. I do have a lot to cover, but I want this to be as interactive and engaging as possible. So put comments in the chat. Put your LinkedIn in the chat. If you have questions, put them in the chat. We will likely have time to unmute one or two of you if you want to ask a question live. We are recording this, so I usually put this up on our YouTube channel and share it with new members, prospective members, just for them to get a sense pretty quickly on what PIHRA has to offer, and you were able to help me provide those frequently asked questions and responses. So I do record this for those reasons. Also, I send out these slides. So if you want to take notes, fantastic, but just note all the information on the slides. You will receive it probably sometime this afternoon, along with the link to our YouTube channel so that you have that. When I send out the slides, I also send out a lot of information. I know sometimes it's overkill, but each of you may have different interests and different goals. So I will put information about the different things that you asked about, and links to uh, for you to read more about those things. So great, thanks, Mark. And are you coming in from Long Beach? I am, just so that we get warmed up here, I am uh, doing this from Southeast Los Angeles. Just, I'm, what, 4.5 miles southeast of downtown LA. So if you want to let us know where you're cybering in from, that would be great. And wonderful, we have 10 people, just what I thought. Okay, so let's get going with the agenda. So what are we doing in the next 60 minutes? We're in the welcome and general update phase. And then I want to do a poll. So you'll find it in your chat. Hopefully all of you have access to it. I know that sometimes I'll be honest, I was just talking to Mark about this, who's my special guest, and you'll meet him in a second. I am relatively new to doing these orientations on Teams, and I know sometimes the Teams app doesn't work for everybody, but we're going to be doing a poll. The poll should show up in your chat. So when I say I'm launching the poll, take a look at it there, or it might just pop up at the center of your screen. Then I'll introduce myself a little bit more, and my special guest, Mark Halushka, who you may see him on video. And if you want to put your video on, great. If not, no big deal, but I would love to see your beautiful faces. Then we'll go in and I'll just do, depending on what I hear from the poll, I may do a quick overview of PIHRA, or if it's something that people are like, yeah, what's PIHRA? What's your structure? I'll spend a little bit more time there. I'll talk about member benefits. And again, please ask questions along the way. If something comes up for you, I may spend more time there. And then we'll go into learning and networking at PIHRA, which I think is really what sets us apart from any of the other either larger HR associations or smaller HR associations. And then we'll just wrap up. I usually take the full 60 minutes. Sometimes I think I'm going to not take it, but I talk a lot and there's a lot to cover. So great. I see someone coming in from Monterey Park. Hey, Abe, I think we met at the Move and Mingle last month. Was it last month? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for coming. And then Fullerton, we got Mark in Long Beach. We got someone from the Bay Area. Welcome. I'm assuming that's San Francisco area. And then Santa Ana. So great. Wonderful. Okay, let's get into more of this general update. I'm excited because when the pandemic hit, and yes, I'm still talking about the pandemic because there was some consequences for us after that large event. We went virtual during that time. So now we're offering like 2, 3, sometimes 4 free webinars for members. And they can range from, I think this morning there was one on how to create um, belonging in the workplace or something to that effect, to virtual peer exchanges where people are just sharing ideas on different topics, to employment law topics. So if you're a member, or I know that some of you might be preview pass, so you're in that trial membership, check out the free webinars or go to one of our events. And we'll talk a lot more about our chapter meetings because you can go right now as a trial member as a member. So get the member rate versus the non-member rate for that. So take advantage of all the webinars that we have. At the end of this slide deck, I have a list of all the things that are happening in August. We have, and you'll see a map of our 17 chapters, and we have an additional community. So there's like 18 large communities. Most of them meet once a month. So there's so much going on. So I want you to set a goal for yourself to at least once a quarter do some sort of HR professional development or networking. Do it for yourself. I know I get social anxiety a lot. And I know how important it is to stay connected with my professional community. I think that's what the pandemic taught me more than ever. But, another thing that I've heard say is you don't want to do HR alone. You want to have your colleagues, people that you uh, get to know, that you trust, that might have been going through something similar that you're going to through at your organization or in your career. And yeah, you have your internal teams, but sometimes it's just nice to have that outside sounding board, obviously holding the strictest confidence in terms of sensitive issues happening with your organization, but you want to have that. So also, a lot of our chapters are meeting in person, many of them. And the another output from the pandemic is that our volunteer leaders, and I'll talk more about our volunteer leaders, they realize that they need to meet our members where they are. So in the past, they used to have very traditional, consistent meetings. So I'm going to take Long Beach since Mark Halushka is from our Long Beach chapter. They would meet for lunch on the same week every month. So it's a lunchtime meeting the same week every month. People like that consistency. But they were seeing a decline in attendees, and not just Long Beach, but all of our chapters. And so they decided, well, how about if we change it up? Some people can go to lunch meetings. Other people uh, it's more convenient for them to go to breakfast meetings or evening events. So a great example of this change up that happened after the pandemic is our chapter called PIHRA North OC. They're in the Anaheim district. And what they decided to do is they had very traditional lecture style breakfast meetings every month. And so now what they do is they have their traditional breakfast style meeting 1 month, and then the next month they'll do a lunch working lab or workshop at lunchtime. And then the third month, they'll do an evening social. And some of those socials are combined with some sort of micro learning activity. So things have changed up a lot, and I hope that suits you. I know some people, it's like, wait, I just want that consistent meeting. Things have changed, and we're trying to evolve as well. So keep visiting the PIHRA calendar. That's where you're going to get the latest information on what our chapters are doing, what seminars and conferences are happening, and what webinars are happening. So again, PIHRA.org/calendar. You're going to get this on the slides. Keep a lookout on it, and you can get started pretty quickly. Jessica, I'm going to call you out. Jessica just got on the line with us earlier than everybody and said, I just had a coffee meeting with someone I just met from PIHRA. So that's how you do it, Jessica. I'm going to use you as an example. Okay. So as I promised, I'm going to launch a poll because I want to tailor this for you. And let's see if I can get this poll launched. It's loading. Let's see. Okay. The poll is called, or the question is, what would you like to learn about in today's member orientation? It should pop up. Mark, can you give me the thumbs up? It's popped up. All right.
Yep.
So tell us, what do you want here? And I don't know if you could make two choices or not. Not a problem. If you can't make two choices, just put it in the chat. Do you want to learn more about PIHRA chapter locations? What a monthly meeting looks like? PIHRA conferences and seminars. You want to learn more about the PIHRA workplace that's powered by Mineral? Are you interested in HR certification? We could talk a lot about that. How about volunteering? Volunteering is our best kept secret, in my opinion. Or maybe you want to learn about the PIHRA and SHRM connection. Or something else. So just let us know. I'm going to vote just to see if this is working okay. Let's see. I'm going to submit. All right. I do see people responding now. I'm going to give it another 30 seconds. Let's see. Um, I have kind of an even split here. PIHRA Workplace, HR Certification, SHRM, and PIHRA Connection and other benefits. If it's an other, just put it in the chat. What is that other thing you want to learn about? And I see one, two. A lot of you want to learn about the PIHRA SHRM connection. No problem. Let's see.
You want to speak on that? I could speak on that real quick.
Well, we'll talk a lot more about it, but
Mhm.
yeah, why don't you mention it? I think everyone's responded, so
Yeah,
go
PIHRA
ahead.
is the largest local affiliate of SHRM. SHRM is more of a national organization, and then every state has their local affiliate of SHRM. California's local affiliate is PIHRA, and we have 18 chapters. And I represent the Long Beach one, but we're the largest local affiliate of SHRM, and I think we've got 4,000 members strong in California. So that's the connection to my
Great.
understanding, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I'll expand on that, but yes, that is the gist of it. I do this for a living, so I'm going to start introducing myself, and we'll definitely get into that a little bit more. So thank you so much for completing the poll. So let's get started on some introductions. I'm here. My name is Liliana Arguello. Everyone calls me Lily, so feel free to call me. I'm the Director of Membership. I love working with PIHRA. I started my career as an organizational development consultant, so a partner. To HR practitioners. And from there, I went into the nonprofit area and I was recruited over by our CEO, who you're going to meet in a moment, Rafael Rivera, uh, through LinkedIn. By the way, and I always like to say this because if you don't have a great LinkedIn profile, get one. But he got connected to me through someone I had done some volunteer leadership work with. I had worked with my friend who just moved to Scotland, Stacey Gordon. We had founded the first professional chapter of the National Association of Women MBAs, and Raphael had known her and asked me, saw that I was connected with her, and that's how I got this job. So PIHRA to me, and by the way, at the time I was doing membership for the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles, which, if you don't know, it's the largest leadership development program for women and young girls in the world. So this PIHRA is a great marriage between the work I was doing in membership at the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles and my work in OD, which was really centered around organizational assessment, strategic planning, structure audits, culture audits, and things of that sort. So I've been here for 11 years now, and it's just been a fantastic journey for me. And My emails here, best if it's best to reach me via email. I may not always be able to pick up the phone, but my phone number is here as well. Please get back to me. It is my expectation of myself to get back to everybody within 24 hours in a working week. If that hasn't happened, you know that I didn't get the message. So send it to me again. Call me and say, hey, Lily, I sent you an email. What's going on? It might have wound up in my junk folder or just got lost somehow. I apologize in advance if that happens because I'm usually really good at getting back to people within 24 hours or even quicker. To my left, hopefully to your left as well, is Sonia Montiel. I've been talking about volunteer leadership. PIHRA is primarily volunteer led. And you'll learn about our structure in a moment, along with our relationship with SHRM. But Sonia is a volunteer leader. She is the chair of the membership committee and sits on the larger association-wide board. She is fantastic. She's my partner in working with all the membership chairs with our 18 chapters. So each of our chapters has its own board. And Mark, you're going to meet Mark. He's the chair of the PIHRA Long Beach board. So there's plenty of opportunities to volunteer. If you need anything and you can't get a hold of me or you don't want to speak to me, you want to hear from that member or volunteer perspective, Sonia's fantastic. Her information is here and she'd be happy to speak to you. So yeah, those are those key members. And now, drum roll, Mark, you're up. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and PIHRA Long Beach.
Hey, everybody. Mark Halushka, and I'm, definitely proud to serve as board chair for PIHRA Long Beach. First of all, I want to welcome you to the PIHRA family and kind of let you know you've joined a community that's definitely committed to advancing the HR profession. Well, definitely creating a network of peers you can rely on for insight, support, and other opportunities. And so, when I first joined PIHRA, I was looking for professional development and a way to keep my HR skills sharp. What I didn't expect was how much volunteering and stepping into leadership would transform my career. Leading the Long Beach chapter has expanded my network, definitely has sharpened my leadership skills, and it's allowed me to directly impact, my HR community right here in Long Beach and in Southern California. And beyond PIHRA, I also serve as an advisory board member for the Human Resource Management Program right here at Long Beach State. So I work with faculty and students and professionals to bridge the gap between HR education and the working world. And so mentoring emerging leaders and helping shape the next generation of HR professionals. And so, as far as the Long Beach chapter goes, we have a long history of delivering strong programming and building community. For the rest of 2025, we're focused on hosting in-person professional development workshops every month or every alternating month, and webinars on the alternating months, expanding our network mixers to foster, genuine, lasting connections, and strengthening partnerships with local businesses, universities, and student chapters at that universities. But I'd like to take a moment here to spotlight an upcoming event, in-person event that the Long Beach chapter has on August 21st at the Grand. And it's Thursday, August 21st from 11:30 to 1:30 at the Grand in Long Beach. And we're excited to welcome our speaker, Lindsay Benitez. And the topic is Coaching the Coaches, Effective Coaching Strategies for HR Success. And within the session, you're going to learn how to shift problem solver to coach. And you're going to practice tools to integrate coaching into everyday HR conversations like conflict resolution, performance, and change management, and how to walk away with a personalized strategy to lead with empathy, curiosity, and a greater impact. So I think it's going to be high value. It's going to be a practical session. And, one of the most important things is going to be a great in-person networking opportunity. I encourage you to join, bring a colleague. And we have lunch. We've got, um, you know, refreshments. And we also have our platinum sponsors always provide us with great gift cards and gift certificates and whatnot. And so usually they're big gift cards to Visa gift cards, Amazon gift cards, Starbucks gift cards, usually ranging from 50 to 25 bucks. And there's several of those. But at our last networking event that we had,
I
one
was
of our
just going to talk about that, Mark.
yes, at our last networking event, it was really good program. But one of our platinum sponsors, IMA Insurance Financial Group, um, gave away 4 Dodger tickets behind home plate with parking. So I mean, what
I
could be
wanted
better
to
than
win
that?
those.
I
I
know
wanted to win
everybody
those.
did. And what we did is, we've got developed the. Sometimes we'll drop business cards in, but because a lot of people don't really carry physical business cards anymore, we've got a QR code where you can enter the raffle now. So at the next session, you'll enter the QR code and just drop your name digitally in the hat, and we'll do a wheel of names display, and we'll digitally spin the wheel and randomly pick a couple of winners, usually like 3 or 4. And usually we do a group picture, after the event, and kind of recap the event and tag people, and it's just a great place to network. And for me, it's more than just events and resources. It's definitely the relationships you build, the ideas you exchange, and the confidence you gain from like being a part of a strong supportive network.
Yeah.
Who's HR for HR?
Yeah.
We are.
We're going to get into all those details when we talk about the chapters, but I've had the pleasure. So I do a lot. I have an office in Long Beach. I lived in Long Beach, so I spend a lot of time in Long Beach, and I had the pleasure of working with Mark, and we worked on this social, which had a wellness angle to it. So just so you know, everybody, when you become a member, you select your primary chapter, which might be a location. We'll see a map soon, that's near your work or near your home, but you can go to any chapter event at the member rate. So Mark, I want to talk more about that. Let's get through a little bit, of an overview, and then I definitely want to continue to talk about Long Beach. Just so you know, the next event in Long Beach that Mark was talking about, it's August 21st. The speaker, Lindsay, is fantastic. I put a way to register and to find more information. There's a link in the chat, so please check that out. Thanks, Mark, and I want you to continue to chime in.
For
Let's just
sure.
get through some of this overview stuff. I'm not going to read our mission to you, but based in essence, we exist for the HR community in California. Uh, we are the largest SHRM affiliate, and Mark talked a little bit about that. So the PIHRA SHRM connection. We are the largest SHRM affiliate in the United States. I actually think we're the largest in the world because SHRM is a global HR association. They have something like over 200,000 members. I just get the reporting for the United States, but they also have some significant chapters in China and in India, so I don't get that data. But we exist to provide innovative programming, professional development, and high impact networking. And on top of that, leadership development through volunteer leadership. We have all kinds of benefits. So if you want to learn a little bit more about our history, you can go to PIHRA.org about. This is our 80th anniversary. We were established in 1944 by a group of personnel managers. Our name was a little different. We were the Professional Association of Industrial Relations, or yeah, something like that. Because that's what HR was called back then, industrial relations. And this group got together and started discussing, what does the profession need? What sort of skills do these people need to acquire? What sort of certifications? How do we network internally? And they were established in 1944, and they first met in downtown Los Angeles. So if some of you are coming back and have been around a long time ago and are coming back, you may recall that our chapters were called districts and they had a number. So PIHRA Los Angeles was District 1, and that's because they're out of downtown. We were established before SHRM, so I like to say that. SHRM was established in 1948, but obviously grew quickly, and we are now affiliated with them. So the distinction right now is that we are two different memberships. So you would buy your SHRM membership, and then separately you buy the PIHRA membership. But I think the memberships go so well together because SHRM gives you fantastic cutting edge HR trend information, legislation information. I mean, they have, I think, over 500 employees, and we have like 8 employees, even though we're the largest. We run pretty lean. So if you have any specific questions about the SHRM and PIHRA connection, please put it in the chat. I will comment on that. But we are a chapter in good standing, just say that. And we are located in Southern California, just so you know. So and I'll show you a map in a moment, but there's other SHRM affiliates in California if you didn't know. So that's a little bit about us. Hopefully that also covers the information about how we're connected with SHRM. But we work well with SHRM. We work well with SHRM San Diego, even though we do have a community in the north part of San Diego County. We work well with SHRM Inland Empire. There's SHRM Wine Country, and those are all in the areas that we operate in as well. And then there's a Northern California SHRM. So if you have any questions about SHRM, let me know. I'll do my best to answer it. But I think that, again, just to repeat, they provide that fantastic on-time HR trends and legislation information from a national level, but we provide that local HR, affordable, accessible professional development and networking that it's really hard for a larger organization to provide. And I think, if you haven't kind of figured out, there's more Mark Kalushkas in our community that are super warm and want to provide the resources that you have. So that you need, sorry, so that you can excel in your career. Our motto, and here I'm introducing you to Susan Bowman. She's the president of the board. So she's a volunteer leader at the highest level of our organization. Lots of HR experience here. She's currently a senior HR consultant. And then Rafael Rivera, who I mentioned to you, he's my supervisor. He's our chief executive officer. Um, I share Rafael's view of PIHRA and what we bring to the table. And what we talk about is we want HR professionals to have a community. We want you to be in the PIHRA community and become members, but we just want you to be a part of a community because we know how difficult HR can be. It could be a lonely place. It could be a place where you're dealing with a lot of sensitive issues, difficult people, because we're dealing with humans and everyone's so unique. So just know this is your community if you want it to be. And we're going to talk about the differences in our chapters as well. But if Raphael here, both Susan and Raphael are very accessible. You can reach out to them on LinkedIn. That's a best way to get a hold of Raphael, for instance. Feel free to reach out to him. He's fantastic. I really credit him for getting us through the pandemic, rebranding our annual conferences. So we have 2 main conferences, which I'll talk about one later, but we have our annual PIHRA conference. It used to be called the annual PIHRA conference, and now it's a California HR conference. So he rebranded that. He rebranded our logo PIHRA the last 8 years. He also rebranded what I think we're really well known for is our California employment law. It used to be the PIHRA legal update, and it happened in January. Now we call it the California Employment Law Update, and it's happening in October, which is right after the governor of California signs in all the new laws. So you're getting the freshest information from our attorney friends. So we're doing that this year, and I'll tell you a little bit more about when and where we're doing our California Employment Law Update, which we call CELU. So you might hear about that. I hope you're all attending. But if you have any questions about that, let me know. All right. I see Jessica sharing her URL, LinkedIn. Please start connecting with each other. That's fantastic. Okay, so a little bit about the demographics of our membership. 40% are HR certified. Someone here asked about HR certification. I'm going to talk to you about that when we get to the learning and networking section of this webinar. 44% of our members are at the HR manager, HR generalist level. So that's kind of the meat and potatoes, if you will, of our membership base. Right around 22% are HR directors, and right around 9% are at that CHRO, Chief People Officer level. And then I also want to point out this category here called service providers. Those are the natural partners to HR. They could be your insurance brokers, your staffing folks, your wellness firms. It could be your financial advisors. Don't be scared of them. A lot of them have been around PIHRA for a long time, and they're great connectors. I was actually at a PIHRA Long Beach event one time, Mark, and one of our insurance broker friends was like, hey, if anyone's interested in an HR job, I know about an HR director position in downtown, come see me, I'll connect you. So usually they know this is about relationship building. They come here to learn about HR pain points. So I just want you to know that they are around. You'll see them at the meetings and the socials, and some of them are even our volunteer leaders because they're here to bring people together and bring HR together. Okay. If you have any questions about this slide, let me know. It has a lot of information. Right now, we're actually at 3,400 members. We were trying to grow back. Just to give you some context, before the pandemic in 2019, we got as high as 4,800 members. Our goal was to hit 5,000 members in 2020, and well, you know what happened. So that's just a sense of what our demographics look like. Okay, because we've talked a lot already, I've talked a lot. Here's our footprint. So hopefully you see this slide. This gives you a sense of where all of our chapters are. We have 18 chapters, including our, I don't know if you'll see my cursor, but including North County, San Diego. As I mentioned earlier, when you become a member, you select your preferred chapter. I suggest going to a couple of chapter meetings. It doesn't always have to be your chapter. So for example, I'm in near downtown LA. PIHRA Los Angeles is our second largest chapter. They meet out of downtown. They meet out of the City Club, which is this beautiful venue. But sometimes I'm in Long Beach, so I'll go to the Long Beach meeting. And each of our chapters have their own little culture. So, I mean, I don't know about you, Mark, and I'd love for you to talk about PIHRA Long Beach a little bit more here, but I think you guys are the cool group. The PIHRA Long Beach is like the cool chapter. I know PIHRA Burbank Glendale, they call themselves a fun chapter. So you check out a couple of chapters. If you're interested in volunteering, I don't think anyone asked about that, but it, I highly suggest you just even take a small role in volunteering. A little bit more before I invite Mark in. Our largest chapter is PIHRA South OC. If you think about going to one of those meetings, you can plan on meeting like 40 to 60 people at their meetings. And we go as far north as Antelope Valley, Santa Clarita, and Ventura County. As far west as the PIHRA West LA. They meet out of Santa Monica. We also have a group that meets out of Hawthorne, El Segundo area. And we go as far east as Coachella Valley. They meet out of Palm Desert. So, Mark, I am going to ask you, what is it like to be at a PIHRA Long Beach meeting? What would someone expect? I think you're on mute.
Yeah, being at a Long Beach PIHRA event, there's super high energy, and the focus is not only on the professional development and the the certification credits that you get if you're certified, but it's the high level networking and the relationship building that you get. And what it's like, Long Beach is it's in a really cool area. It's kind of centrally located to all of our chapters. And so if you're, in the South, or you're in the East, or you're in the North, we're kind of centrally located. We're by the beach, and we've got that kind of beach vibe, that culture of fun and relaxed, but while all while being professional. And so we're always looking for volunteers, more members to get involved, whether that's helping with events at check-ins, or joining a committee, or stepping into a leadership position. We're always looking for people to come be members of our chapter. And Long Beach is funky. Come get with it.
Yeah, come
Good time.
hang out in the
Yeah,
LBC.
yeah,
Um,
we have a
so
good time.
yeah, each chapter has a different energy. Just like any organization, right? So check them out. There is a cost to go to the meetings because the volunteers have to pay for the venue. It's usually at a hotel or a venue site. Some people have it some chapters have it at a restaurant. There's usually a meal. The food at PIHRA Long Beach is fantastic. Uh, PIHRA West LA, for example, I call them the party chapter. I don't know if they'd like that, but expect wine to be served at PIHRA West LA. So there is a cost, and there's a networking component. There is a professional development component where you can earn SHRM or HRCI recertification credits. It's usually like 1.5 credits that you can earn, and you'll receive your certificate of attendance either at the event or afterwards. Any questions, let me know. But I think that's kind of what, and if you have social anxiety like I do, email me, because I will find someone. If I don't go with you, I will find someone that I know is going to be there so that they can just, warm you up, make you feel comfortable. Or you could say, look, I don't want anyone to talk to me. And I'll be like, okay, this person's coming. I don't want anyone to talk to them. But it's just a great opportunity. So I didn't say this, but before I ever dreamed on being on the PIHRA staff, I was a PIHRA member. I joined PIHRA Long Beach. The first meeting I went to, Mark, I don't know, you probably heard this story before. They greeted me. It was Julie Mangrello Jennings and a woman, blanking on her name, and she was a membership chair. And she's like, welcome. This is your first meeting. What are your goals? How can I help you? Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody in the meeting? And I was like, okay. I was looking for a job. So I was like, sure. So I they gave me like 3 minutes to introduce myself, why I was here, what my expertise was. And then they asked me how they could help. And I helped them put on a social event or something like that. And I did a presentation on networking. So uh, every chapter is a little different, but it'll be something like that. But you could always say, no, I would rather not talk in front of everybody, and they'll sit you next to somebody. So just let them know what you want. I don't know. I saw you smiling, Mark. So if you want to add, oh, here, Natalie, what is the best way to connect with PIHRA folks for the Bay Area? So I don't know if you caught this, Natalie, but we are in Southern California. So we have some SHRM affiliates that I can share with you, and the so SHRM has a SHRM chapter locator, and I'll send that out to you. But there's a Northern California SHRM community. There's a community in Sacramento. I'm forgetting all the names, in San Joaquin Valley, but I'll send that. So we're just this map is us. We're Southern California, but we have a lot of at-large members, and those are people that are outside of our geographic footprint that do our webinars, or they come travel in for our larger conferences. So hopefully I answered that question. Mark, did you want to add something? I see that big smile on your face.
No, I just it's just a pleasure to be here, and we're just having a good time here.
Oh, good. Good. Okay. So before I forget, because I forgot last time, we have 4 for. Special interest groups here on this slide. The PIHRA Foundation, they're a separate entity. They raise funds for scholarships. So if you are going back to get in H wait, what am I trying to say? If you're in college wanting to get your HR degree or a similar degree, or you're in graduate school, they do right now. I think it's an annual scholarship. They used to do it biannually. So check them out. I'll give you their URL if you like, and I'll put it here in case you're interested. They also give scholarships for HR certification. So what am I doing? How that works is that first you prepare, you pay for everything, you prepare for the exam. Once you pass the exam, that's when you get at least that's how it used to work. So just so that you're not surprised, but check out the PIHRA Foundation at PIHRA.org/foundation to read more about that. We also have the PIHRA advocacy team, which I think I have a slide on them. They're a fantastic group. Oh no, I don't have a slide about them. You can find out more about them at PIHRA.org/GAT. Um, they work with Cal SHRM's advocacy team in Sacramento, but also working with the legislators in our districts. Right now, they have this awesome Adopt a Legislator campaign, which I'm going to drop in the chat when I have a moment. But if you're interested in government relations or advocacy on the employer side or the employee side, um, connect with this group. They're fantastic. I've known the chair of the GAT for, I'm going to age myself, which you can probably tell. I got some gray hairs, like 30 years. And she's fantastic. Long-term HR consultant, fantastic. We also have, I think Mark mentioned, we have student chapters. Right now, we have 12 student chapters, and we have a committee called the PIHRA College Relations Committee. They work with faculty and the student chapters to get them more engaged, get them involved in our conferences and things like that. So, for example, I'm a Bruin. I went to UCLA, so we have a student chapter. They're called the SHRM at UCLA, SHRM and PIHRA at UCLA. I have kind of been their faculty advisor for a while. They're fantastic. And Mark is working with the Cal State Long Beach chapter. So they're called PIHRA Cal State Long Beach. That's another fantastic group. So if you like working with students, it's a great way to, fill that your pipeline of HR people. And some of these young people are just fantastic. So we have 12, and we have a student membership, by the way. If you are a full-time student, our membership is only $35 for the year. So talk to me about that. And then we have PIHRA Emerging Leaders, which they're doing some fantastic work right now. They just did the PIHRA's first ever Emerging Leaders Leadership Summit. And it was a half-day event. I wasn't able to attend because I like to attend all those groups. This group, especially the Emerging Leaders, has a special place in my heart. They're just doing great work. What I want to say is all of these chapters and committees have their own boards. They always need some help. Get on a board. Take on a leadership position. I think it's the best secret ever. If it's a way to build your leadership skills. If you have a fantastic boss, which I hope you do, they're going to be watching you. If you're doing outside work in leadership and honing those planning skills, time management skills, delegation skills, communication skills, that really translates to them at the workplace and will help propel your career. So if you haven't thought about volunteering, I think it's a best kept secret. Go for it and check. And I will be happy to introduce you to any of these volunteer leaders. So, all right. I think I talked a lot about that. All right. PIHRA benefits. We're going to talk about that. If you're not a member, and maybe you're a trial member, it's our 80th anniversary. I mentioned that earlier. And we have this $80 membership to commemorate our 80th anniversary, but there is some eligibility requirements. You have to be an in-house HR practitioner. So it's only for HR practitioners, and but email me if you have questions about it. You could scan this. I'll keep this up for another moment. If you're interested in that membership, you scan here. That's a landing page, and then you just click on claim my $80 membership. Um, if you go the different route, there's no promo code I can give you. You have to go this route. But if you have any problems with that, just email me. I'll be happy to help. I usually get back to people pretty quickly. All right, really quickly, here's our most popular benefits: HR education and training. Uh, so affordable. Like Mark was talking about, this one in August 21st. I think it's like, how much does it cost, Mark, to go to your chapter event? It's like $35. You get an hour worth of professional development. Um, it's really affordable and accessible, and we have them at all of our chapters. How much is, do you know, Mark?
Let's see here. It's like 35
Yeah,
for members, and or there's a $10 difference. It's 45 for non-members, 35 for members, and
right.
then students are like $25, or members in transition,
Yep.
$25.
Yeah, so if
Yeah.
you're in transition and you're a PIHRA member, so what in transition means for me is you're either in between jobs or you're underemployed, meaning you're not working as much as you had, or you took another sort of position that was under what you had been used to working. So you were a director of HR before, now you're maybe a generalist. So I will definitely consider that. You just need to email me to get the in transition status. Uh, Again, California focus. We are known throughout the country for our California focused HR education. We have a free HR hotline. So some of you might have used it. The next slide is going to tell you how to use that. That is through Mineral. Through Mineral, we also offer it comes with the membership, a smart employee handbook builder. So you build it on the platform and then you could download it and edit it. Free webinars. But I think what's priceless is the building relationships. I have made lifelong personal friends through PIHRA. One of my previous volunteers, she was with PIHRA Long Beach. Mark, I don't know if you remember Paula Cohen. She has been a member of PIHRA for 20, 30 years. And I said, Paula, how have you been a member? Why have you been a member for so long? And she looked me straight in the eye and she said, I met my best friend at a PIHRA Long Beach lunch, and now they're kind of heading into retirement. But when I first started with PIHRA in like 2014, 2015, they would go to events together. We had this emerging leaders event that I invited everyone to. It was at this art studio. We had beer and wine and tacos, and they came from Long Beach to downtown to this art studio together. They were just fantastic. So you never know who you're going to meet at a PIHRA event. It might be your next employer. It might be your bestie. You never know. So that's pretty priceless if you ask me. Um, I had another volunteer leader. She would say, this is where you meet your HR Fab Five. And what she meant by that is she met her PIHRA Board of Advisors or HR Board of Advisors, those people that you have on your speed dial list when something goes haywire at work, like sexual harassment complaint or a disruptive employee or aggressional behavior happens or God knows, anything can happen at the workplace. You want your Fab Five that you call and be like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Have you ever experienced this? What would you do? How would I handle this? So, yeah. Here's the resources on the PIHRA Workplace. What I'm going to say briefly is that it's a single sign-on technology to get on this platform, and it can be temperamental. Don't want you to get frustrated or like, well, how do I access this? Just email me. I'll help you. I'll send you instructions. I'll help you get on there. I'll test it out for you. But there's so much on this Mineral platform. We call it the PIHRA Workplace, but it's basically Mineral. It's powered by Mineral. They have an award-winning compliance center. There's hundreds of forms and policies and legal summaries. There's an employee handbook builder. There's a job description builder. There's so much on. There's webinars on there. It also includes a telephone hotline. You call them, they'll field your question, and then they'll respond. Sometimes they'll respond in writing, so you have to go back onto the platform to get the response, but here's a number that you call. And what's really fantastic, but you do have to spend some time in there to make it work, is the enterprise learning management software. You can train all of your employees through this learning management software. It includes over 200 core courses. You could upload courses to it. You could create learning tracks. The only thing it does not include, you have to upgrade for the mandatory sexual harassment training and the mandatory OSHA training. So a lot of resources there. Um, if if you were to purchase these 3 items on your own, it would cost you around $12,000 just to do this on your own. SHRM does have some similar products. So if you're a SHRM member, you know, it's just complementing what you get with SHRM, just in case you're a SHRM member. I don't see any questions. Any special member rates for professionals in transition that are unemployed? Um, so if you're were an HR practitioner, I don't know if you're a member. I can't recognize your name, Natalie, but you could join at the $80 rate, and then we will make you an in-transition member, and there are in-transition rates to attend the chapter meetings, so there's still a cost because we do lay out some money for that. So Mark mentioned that to go to a PIHRA Long Beach meeting, it would cost $25, and that's more or less standard for the chapter meetings. And there's also in transition rate for our virtual conference offerings. And so, yeah, so if you're a trial member now, reach out to me. We'll get you the $80 membership, and then we'll convert you into a in transition member. So great question. I'm running out of time. How did I know I was going to talk too much here? Okay. Uh, if you're on a large HR team, we have an HR team membership. So if you're interested in that, you'll get this slide. I've talked a lot about volunteering. Go to PIHRA.org/volunteer if you're interested in learning more about volunteering and the different positions that we have. Each chapter has different needs. So if you're interested in, for example, working with PIHRA Long Beach, I'd connect you with Mark. Mark, do you have any open volunteer positions that you can talk about right now?
Yes, we do have a couple of open positions here. One of them is for programming, and the other one is for uh, the uh, the legislative chair, the
Affairs.
government advocacy chair. But the programming is super important because that's the person who helps formulate and surveys the particular chapter to see what kind of professional development and educational workshops the members want to see in the upcoming year. So
Okay.
yeah, we've
And they
got one
plan that
person.
out for the year. Is that how they work?
They
They
help
create
plan
a
it
plan.
out for the year, and they register the events with PIHRA headquarters so that we can get the HRCI and the SHRM recertification credits. Every one of our programming has the recertification credits, and so that's where the big part of the value comes in. But those are some of the openings that we have.
Great. And they source speakers as well, right?
Yep,
Got it. Okay.
absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about the HR education that we offer. I talked a lot about this already. Virtual learning, chapter meetings, conferences. We have the California HR conference. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the employment law update. We also have specialty programs, like we have the PIHRA Power Series. We just did one in Woodland Hills, and we used to do the PIHRA Real HR, which was this interactive learning session in the evening. So all kinds of things going on. Um, Members get at least $10 off the registration rates and special rates to attend our conferences. We have free webinars. At the end of this, I'm going to try to get there quickly. I have a long list of events happening this month, and you'll get this via email as well. Certification. Someone asked about certification. So we provide prep courses for the SHRM and HRCI certification exam. So think about, I don't know if any of you had to take the ACT or the SAT or the GRE to get into graduate school. Basically, that's the type of exam that these HR certifications require for you to pass. I did the SHRM SCP certification at the beginning of 2021. the prep is different for everybody. So you have to really understand your study habits, if you're a good test taker or not. Um, are you a diligent reader? So just so you know, I like to be outdoors. I'm not a great reader. I'm not a great test taker, but I do have my MBA and an undergraduate degree. With all that, I studied for 9 months and I was sweating this exam. The senior certified exams, so the SPHR and SHRM SCP, they're no joke. The SHRM SCP, which is the one I took, the pass rate ranges from 49% to 55%. Half of the people that take the exam don't pass. So get serious about it. I highly recommend HR certification, but really think about the time that you're going to have to spend on doing this. We have great certification instructors. If you want more information, visit PIHRA.org/certify25. I think we have a couple starting. I don't know which ones are starting in September, but I'd be happy to help you figure that out. So there is research out there that says if you pass your senior certified exam, you can increase your earning potential or your salary by at least $20,000. When I passed my exam, I got a big bump in my salary as well. So yeah. Okay, our upcoming California employment law update. This is a place where you're going to get all the information you need to stay in compliance with California's strict laws. You probably know that California is like no other when it comes to employment law. So come to these events. They're a great place to learn and meet attorneys. Some of the attorneys will spend 15 minutes with you and not charge you. So get the attorneys on your speed dial list too, because you always want different opinions. You might have a general counsel already, but you might want to just get to know some different attorneys. We're going to be in Santa Ana on October 28th. Burbank on the 30th. We'll be in northern San Diego County in January, so we'll just skip to January after our first two larger ones, and we'll be in Riverside at the Riverside Convention Center on January 22nd. And with 1 minute left, we are doing the first ever PIHRA HR cruise. It's almost sold out. You get this on the slide. We're going to Cabo. I don't know if I'm going or not, but I might. February 22nd, almost sold out. You're going to have 2 days full of HR learning. The other 3 days, you can do whatever you want. You can bring your family. It gets really inexpensive if you share a room. But I'm really excited about this. And here's the list I promised of events that we have going on in August. And if you can stay a minute more, I'd really appreciate it. I understand we're running late. Um, we have the virtual peer exchange on the 19th. It's free for everybody. So if you're not a member, I would just check that out to get to some more networking in. Here's the PIHRA Long Beaches event. That's going to be fantastic. West LA and LA. I told you West LA is known for wine. They're doing a wine tasting and a special presentation on August 21st as well. South Bay is having pickleball and pizza. So we do all kinds of stuff. I think someone said they were in Fullerton. North OC, they're a fantastic group. They're also meeting on the 21st. I want to say, I don't know if this is a lunchtime meeting or a breakfast meeting, but they're talking about talent acquisition. Riverside, if you're in that area, they're a great group. They're talking about workplace civility and cultural sensitivity on August 28th, and they do it at this really cool restaurant. So all right. Thank you so much for coming. I know I'm running a little late. Dina, thank you for hanging out with us. Lastly, I'm just going to share how you can connect with us online. Here's all of our social media channels. We're very active on LinkedIn and Instagram, and feel free to reach out to me anytime. Email's best. But thank you so much. And Mark, I know I didn't leave you too much time. Any last words before we adjourn?
Just, if welcome to the PIHRA family, y'all. And you're in for a good ride. And, take advantage the networking and the professional development.
Thank you,
It's
Mark,
awesome.
for joining
Yeah.
this month. And thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining and spending these 60 minutes with me. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to stop the recording